All right, well, what's going on, everybody? This is a video of training purposes only for the people at Real Life Church that are part of the tech team, that are different people that are wanting to get involved with our tech ministry. And so this video today is going to be talking over our software program called Propresenter. And so I'm going to be kind of going over everything that we do for a Sunday morning and how it works in every single function. So if there's ever a question in the future about something that we do on Propresenter 7, we can go back and look at this video later. So if I post this on YouTube and you're a part of another church watching this and you have a better way of doing it, or if you have questions of what we do, make sure you leave a comment below and let me know what you guys think. So this morning I'm just going to go over everything that we do for a Sunday morning. As you can see, we kind of have a start, a pre-service, a countdown. We have our songs all set up and ready to go. We have a welcome. We got our songs. We got the message. We got everything kind of labeled exactly the way that we want it. And so let's just go ahead and kind of set up a this coming Sunday morning so we can kind of make it nice and easy. So we currently have all of our songs are in this default folder at the top left here. We have all of our songs that are in here that we've ever done in any other presentation that we've ever done. So, and actually this week is going to be a good week because we're doing a new song. So this will be really good. So, Sunday morning, let's go ahead and pull in our the songs that we're already having in here, which will be Firm Foundation, Worthy of My Song, and Here Again. So go up to the default, and then at the bottom left you will see there's a filter section right here, and we want to go ahead and type in Firm Foundation since we will be doing that song this coming Sunday. What we will do is grab this item right here and we will drag it up to the Sunday service, and we see that we now have Firm Foundation in here. We want to do the same thing with the next two songs, so let's go back to default, filter, Worthy of My Song, and then we will go to default once again and type in Here Again. Drag, drop. Okay, let's go to Sunday service now. So we have these three songs in here, and we want to replace the songs this week's Sundays with the new ones. So we want to drag this into our schedule kind of setup that we have it, and we want to delete Rest on Us and Endless Praise because we won't be doing these songs anymore. So just right click and click delete. Now note, this is not deleting it out of the library, it's deleting it out of the playlist that we were in there. So we went ahead and deleted it out of there. We're going to drag Here Again up to the altar call song, and we were going to delete Worthy of It All. Once again, that song is not deleted. It's only deleted from the playlist. As you can see, that Worthy of It All is still in there. So let's go back to Sunday morning service. We will not be doing My Testimony. We will be doing The Joy. It's a new song from The Belonging. And so we'll get to that in just a second, but let's go ahead and make sure we have our arrangement set for a Sunday morning. So if you can see that we have it set up where there's songs that are put in there, and we have the RLC arrangement in here. Same for Here Again, but we don't currently have them for Worthy of My Song, and we don't have it for Firm Foundation. So what we need to do is we need to go to the top right up here. There's all these different buttons that are used for different things, and the one that we're going to focus on is this one right here. It is called the arrangement one. And so we click on this button, we see that there is a master group section, intro, chorus, instrumental, verses, all these different things. And you can actually make your own arrangement for these things. So you can click create new arrangement and type in whatever you want it to be. And for us, we create it to be RLC. And so you can see how many times we do certain sections of the song based on the multi-track that we use, or if we just know that we're going to be doing this part a lot, we go ahead and put these parts in here. So Firm Foundation, we have it set up for the RLC version, and now we can see it is a lot longer than the previous, which is good because that's the way that we have it set up. Same thing for worthy of my song. We'll need to do the same thing. So we go up to the top right here and go to the arrangement. Go to the arrangement drop down and we click on RLC because we've already made this before in the past. So we now have it there. If there's ever a point where, let's say, I have forgotten an extra bridge or there just needs to be an extra bridge added in there, all you got to do is grab it from the group section at the top, grab bridge, and pull it down, and now we have 4 bridges instead of 3. Or if you accidentally put in one too many, you can always go into our arrangement of the RLC itself and click the X on it, and boom, you are done. So that is the arrangements for the songs. We can see that here again is already set up for the arrangement, and I know this because it says the RLC arrangement right there. So we can go into here, check it, good to go, and same thing with everything else. So we are good to go with all of our songs except for the Joy. So let's go ahead and import the Joy in here. This song is by the Belonging Company. So let's go ahead and look at who the writers are of the Belonging. Okay, and the writers are the Joy, Belonging. It looks like it was written by Andrew Holt. So what we'll do here is we'll go up to the top left, search button right here, and we will click on this because we are connected to our CCLI. If you ever have any questions about the CCLI or if you need license to it, just go to their website. We have an account set up through them. So we will type in the Joy, and we will kind of go through and find who or where it is at. So it's by Andrew Holt and Mitch Wong. So I'm not seeing it, so let's go ahead and type in Andrew. There we go. The Joy, Mitch Wong. Import. So whenever we import it, we're going to want it to be the certain size that we have it to be. We want it to have set up on our theme. If you don't have a theme set up, make sure you get your theme set up. But typically, whenever we're doing this, we already have our worship theme set up, so we don't have to worry about it. Our default library is where we're going to have it, and our playlist will be Sunday service. Import. At this point now, you can see that there isn't a crazy amount of things going on, but at the same time, it needs more to it. Right away, I don't know this song off the top of my head compared to some of the other songs, but what we're going to do now is we're going to arrange it correctly. So what we'll do is we'll click on the very end here, the very last slide, and we're going to go down to the bottom left right here, the plus. And we are going to add a new blank slide. Okay, why are we adding a new blank slide? Well, what we need to do is we need to add an intro slide and an ending slide so that we can have our motion graphic when to start it, and our cues for like our stage display, and also our lighting cues as well. So we always set one up for the very beginning for our intro. So we're going to right click on this, group, intro. So now that we have that made, we want to go to our arrangement at the top right, and we see that the intro is at the very end. Well, we don't want it at the end, we want it at the beginning. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab this, slide it over, and get that set up right there at the front, and we're going to do the same thing at the ending because we want an end slide for our CCLI publishing. So we have that set up now with our intro and ending. And now we are going to go ahead and get the song cleaned up a little bit when it comes to the reflow work. So if you've never done any work with reflow, you can see that each one of these slides have a triangle at the top of them. And so we're going to go ahead and get this set up where it doesn't have that anymore. So reflow, you go up to the top left up here, and you can see all your lyrics are kind of broken down in a very presentable way. Like I said earlier, I don't know this song as well, so we're going to have to listen to this song. So you can just pull this up on YouTube uh, or wherever you listen to it. So I'm going to go ahead and listen to this song real quick, edit it, and then I'll be right back. All right, now we have our song done. You can kind of see I kind of went through that individually, got our song set up the way that we want it to look. And we kind of broke it. We always break it down to in phrases. We never want it to feel like we're just chopping up certain sections because it's a line or it's two lines. We want to make sure it makes sense with the song and it kind of flows together with it. So when you listen to the song, "This Is the Day You Made," those flow together into the music and everything as well. So I'll rejoice and be glad in it. Everything makes sense with it. So we break it down like that. And then now you can see we have our intro, our verses, our pre-chorus, chorus, instrumental, everything that kind of goes on after that. So we have our song ready to go for Sunday now. There's a couple more things we need to add to it. And so everything that we do when it comes to Propresenter is also connected to our lights. And there's also a stage display we need for our singers. And we need a motion background as well. So if you need a motion background, up at the top right here, we have our media. You can see all the media files that we have in here. We have a handful of files. And so what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and grab, let's just say this one right here. We haven't used this one in a long time. So let's grab this one and drag it up here. We are now ready to roll with that file that when you click on this, it is going to appear. But you can see over here on our live stream, that's what's currently showing. And you can see right here on the top right as well, our stage display is showing this. We don't want this. We want it to be set up in a certain way. So if you go over here to the far right, we have these buttons called macros. What these macros are set up to do is that we have song 1, song 2, song 3, song 4, where we have the lighting cues, the stage display settings, the live stream look, and we also have our worship timer as well for the people on stage. So we're going to go ahead and grab song number 1 because this is where it's going to be in our rotation. We're going to grab it and we're going to place it right on top of the intro slide. So now when we click it, we can see that our stage display is ready, and we can see that our output is ready, and we can also see that our live stream is ready to go. So now, last thing we need to do is we need to drag this into place, remove the first song, and now our new song, The Joy, is ready to go. So the last thing I want to do before we move off of the Sunday service, getting it ready setup, is we need to make sure that all of our lighting cues are ready to roll. So as I just mentioned a second ago, we have these macros now that do all these lighting cues for it. If you ever need to check your lighting cues, we use a software called Light Key for our lights. So we need to sign in here. And we have our RLC lights down here. And you can see these are all the different options that we have for our lights. So let's go over back to Propresenter. We are going to figure out how do we even turn these lights on. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to make sure that our lights and Propresenter are communicating with each other. And there are different videos out there that talk about MIDI setups and everything. So maybe I can link that below. But over on the top left, we go to our Propresenter preferences and then devices. When we click on this, we will see that there is a light key MIDI option in here. We will need to make sure that it is connected, and we have it set up as soon as light key is turned on, it automatically connects to Propresenter. So we have it ready to go. And we have these certain cues for our Sunday morning as of right now. that help actually get things set up to connect to our lights. And so you can see over here on the far right, we have our pre-service, and you can see that it's turning everything on. When I click on that, we have song number 1. We have our all lights on. We have our prayer one. Everything that we do is connected to our light key as well. And so we can go over to Propresenter and see what communication MIDI notes do we need. So over here on Propresenter, we have it set up to where our communication key, so go over to the macro section. If you ever need to change this or update this, we have it on the edit actions, MIDI note on. So we can see that the note is 1, the channel is 1, the device is light key. Intensity just needs to be something to show that, hey, we're communicating with each other. So we have song number 1 set up for note number 1. And same thing for song number 2. We have note number 2 set up. So when you click on this, it turns on song number 1. And it works together through all these different things. So this is the cool thing about it. We have all this set up ready to go already. We just need to make sure song 1 through 4 are ready to go. So these are these are color coordinated. So we have green right here. So the macro green is on that. Firm foundation, it should be red, which is red. Worthy in my song, you can barely see it right there, but that is blue. If you ever need to check it as well, you kind of go to edit actions, right click, edit actions, song number 3, which is your macros. That's good to go. And then we also have our song number 4, which is here again, and we can check that as well, which is song number 4. So that is how we set up our Sunday service. Let me turn these lights back on in here. That is how you set up a Sunday service. We have our start, we have our pre-service, our countdown is automatically set up to a calendar, our songs are ready to roll, and so forth. So a lot of good things when it comes to our actual service setup. Let me go over a couple more things, and then we will be done with this training video. So I just mentioned, I can briefly mention this for a second. If we ever need to add a calendar or schedule something for the future, let's say we have a different Easter date or we have a Christmas date that is a different time and we want our countdown to go off at a certain time, we will need to change our countdown or add a countdown to it. So we're going to go up here to View, and then we will have a drop down to Calendar. And you can see all these things that are scheduled every single week. So right now we have a second service countdown that begins right at 10:55. We have our student ministry starting at 6:34. That automatically begins. And then we have back to our rotation of Sunday morning service. First service starting at 9:10, and then also 10:55, and then our student ministry, and then so on and so on. If you ever need to change something like that or add, you just click on this little plus section right here, and then you can go through and actually pick whatever you need. Or if you ever need to update it, you can go on here and update whatever you need to as well. Pretty self-explanatory. So let's go over here now to our right side of the screen. There's a lot going on over here. First off, let's just start from the top and work our ways down. So up here at the top, we have our audience and our stage view. We can see if we click on this, it turns red. If we click on this, it turns red. Basically, it's just your on and off switch. This is saying, hey, this is off currently, and now that it's on, it's live, it's ready to roll. So you always want these to be green. I don't think there would ever be a reason why you wouldn't want those green. Songs, you can click on this right here and you can see that it currently is selected to our songs look for our live stream, which is good. That's what we want because we currently have one of our songs showing. Our live, we don't use this over here. It's for changing the live capture of different inputs that are coming in. We don't use this feature on here. Over here on the right, we have a lot going on. We have our audio, we have a message, we have props, we have an announcement, slide, media, and our video input. You can see 2 of them are currently lit up. So let's kind of talk about these things right here. This one right here, if there's ever lyrics that are up on the screen, we have it set up for our slide. So if you ever have lyrics that are up and you want to clear it, you can clear that right there. Or let's say, for example, you have the lyrics up, but you don't want the background to be up anymore. And you're like, oh man, I have the wrong background. How do I clear it? Well, instead of clearing the slide, all you got to do is clear the background. And that makes it nice and easy for you to do things on the fly and be able to work easier. At the bottom here, we have all these different things that are going on right here. Basically, it's just showing you the different options that are happening during the service itself. Down here, we have all of our audio. So we have it set up for first Sunday through the fifth Sunday, a prayer pad, Tuesday night prayer group that they have. And each one of these songs, just you start it up, and you can see that the song will be playing. And when you want to clear the song, you go up to the top right music icon right up here. You'll see it again. Yep, and let's clear it again. So basically, it's a quick clear feature that we have on here ready to roll. There's different things on here as well, showing our stage display, showing our timers, showing messages that you can send to people on our screens, showing props. We don't use the props, and then back to our macros. So there is a lot here with Propresenter, but I do believe we kind of went through everything that we do here fairly quickly. So if you have any questions, make sure you reach out. But I believe that is going to be it for Propresenter. Oh, one last thing that I can mention is our prayer pad. Something that we do here is our prayer pad. If you ever need to replace our prayer pad, we have all of them under our desktop. So all you gotta do is go to desktop, ambient pads is where it's at. We have all the keys set up. And so if you need to, let's say for example, this week we are going to be doing here again, it is going to be in the key of C. How do I know that? I just looked on our planning center order for the week, and then I went ahead and I'm going to grab this ambient wave file C and drag it in. So whenever I drag that in, it's going to ask me, file already exists. Do I want to write over, new version, or use existing? I want to use the existing file. So I'm going to use that, and then I'm going to delete ambient waves C# out of this prayer pad so we don't accidentally click it in the future. Whenever I import this in, I want to right click on it and make sure that it loops the file and not just starts. So right click, inspector, and then I'm going to go to this little tool option here, properties. Instead of clicking the playback, I want it to loop. And then I'm done. So that is how you set up your prayer pad. If there's any other questions, I can't think of anything else that we do here at the church that is super complex. But if there's any questions that you might have, feel free to reach out, and hopefully we can get it answered. So appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for all that you do here at the church, and hopefully this makes sense.